Get Y'all. I'm your co-host Paris.
And I'm Haley.
And today we're talking about relationship versus religion. Let's talk.
Just wanna be your girl.
Cute.
How we doing, Miss Haley?
I'm good, girlie. How have you been?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Finals. This next week. Right.
I feel like for me, they're actually this week because all of mine are due, but it's just like projects.
Wait.
So I've been like just getting them done now. Like I have an exam right now that's due Sunday at 11:59, and like it's been open since like the 23rd or something.
See, that's not fair.
And I just been doing
all of my exams are in person. You said open, so I'm assuming it's online.
It is, and also it's also an open book. But those y'all, but they're those free response. Okay, education is lit, like it's dope. But those free FRQs and little free response support this and that, it is kind of a lot because they want you to be a little specific and like, gosh. But I have to write a paper too, a 4-page paper. But you know what? Like I
see, that's not that bad. I'm still
okay, but I've been writing like Paris. This is like my like 5th essay, like within like 4 to like 6 days.
Right.
Baby, I'm beat. I'm talking about every day, day for day.
But I'm STEM major, and I had to write.
Major?
I'm a STEM major.
Oh, STEM. I heard
right.
steel, and I was like, wait a minute, what is that?
And I had to write like a 9 to 10 page paper.
I had to do that last spring for this expository writing class that I took. It was intense.
A STEM major. I mean, it has nothing to do with like what are we writing about?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
No, it's almost disrespectful. Oh. It's almost disrespectful.
Right on.
Why would you assign that? And then he says 8.
Why would you assign
He
that?
says 8 to 10 pages, but if you stop at 8, he's gonna take off points.
What?
Yeah.
So he wants you to do like 8
do the 10
and a half?
No, he's saying do the 10. He's just showing grace by saying 8 to 10.
But then you can't.
Because I've tried it before. You know what
that's
I mean?
like free advertisement. You can't advertise something like that and then be like, no, actually you gotta do 10.
He'll say, oh, this is a few pages short. I stopped at the minimum. This is not short, sir. This is what you asked
for.
I'm giving you what you asked for.
He is tripping.
I'm giving you what you asked for.
I definitely know. Because if they tell me 4 to 6, you probably getting like 4 in 3 sentences.
Right. Okay, that's fair.
Just to give them a little something so they can't be like, oh, you just stopped writing. Because I'm one of those people too, like, because of instances like that. Because I'm like, I don't want you sitting there being like, it's short. Hold on, baby.
I'm giving you what you asked for.
Hold on, baby.
Be grateful. You know?
No, literally, because you almost got 7, 6 of them. Right. But no, like, he's getting us through. That's even like something that I wrote on my thing when I had like my list. I did like 4 or 5. Like I finished up like 4 or 5 projects this week. So, like I'm on it. Like I'm gonna like all I have to do is this exam and this paper. And the paper I plan on finishing that like Saturday after we send my sister off to prom. And so I'm like, I know, Pookie, but Saturday? She told me, she's like, why are you not on the road? I said, Vonna, it's Thursday.
Oh, she's ready.
Yeah, she's insane. That's my girl.
She's ready.
No, so yeah, I'm just like, while she out doing what she doing, I'm gonna be getting to it and then just come back home. So yeah, but I should finish the exam because the exam for one is due Sunday night. So I want to have that done, and the paper's due Wednesday. So if I finish the exam, I plan on finishing the exam tonight when I get back home, just kind of like thugging it out.
How long has it been open?
Ooh, a few since like the 23rd.
Oh, girl, you should have been in that.
No, but if you think about it, I started I have time. Like I have time. I have like 4 or 5 days,
right,
to do it like within the time frame that I did. But the reason why I did that is because I knew it wasn't gonna take me like I could do the exam in one setting. It's just I just opened it yesterday, but I really could do it like okay, like start at 8, finish at like 1, like midnight 1.
The way my work schedule set up, my paper wasn't due until May 2nd. I had it done by the 15th of this month. Final paper.
It's May 1st.
This is the thing. I had it done. Okay. Last one. Since you want to be technical.
Yeah, trying to be funny.
The 15th of the last one.
I mean, but you know you. I also know that I could have afforded to do that. You maybe not so much. So
that work schedule maybe.
But also banked for this week to be like my week to be like, all right, like we're getting to it. Like I
did so much extra
in like
credit.
March. Oh no. See, that's the thing.
Oh no.
Oh no.
did so much extra credit work in that Kim class.
Sorry about that.
That Kim,
I'm so
Kim
sorry
class,
about that.
and I was like, she's assigning way more than she used to do. And that's either because the classes ain't doing too good, or she just being generous. Which when are they ever really just generous? You know?
I know that is so true.
But that lab combined with the lecture grade,
that's gonna do you right. Because I'm sure
really
you go to the lab. So
I ain't miss a lab. I'm scared.
You really can't.
I'm scared.
You cannot afford to miss a lab.
No, because it's once a week,
and then you miss so much content. I'm so glad I didn't have to do anything like that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not sure. Okay, I apologize. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant like I'm glad that you were capable of doing it because I know I could not.
Okay.
That's more of what that was. Like, oh, I'm glad that's not me because I would not have thrived it, you know? So.
God been pushing me through.
No.
Girl, because it was so many times I was like, I'm not going to go to this lab.
Yeah, no.
It's too much time. Ain't no way it takes 5 hours to complete one lab. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was still major.
I can't commit to that. I applaud you, truly.
I can't commit to that.
5-hour lab.
I can't commit to that.
I be crying in my little 3-hour classes.
Oh,
and they really 240, so 2 and some change.
Girl,
but like
gladly.
I can't. It's a little bit. It's a lot. Like I don't know why. It's a lot, and they always be in the evening. So like I done had all my classes already.
It's that last class.
And then I got comfortable at home. I gotta get back up. That's what I usually what I try to do is like be doing work or something. Be doing work or something. Who am I? Because that way it kind of like fills in the gaps a little bit for me. Because I have to kind of keep doing something, or I'm gonna be like,
right. That's fair.
Like so, and I don't want to keep putting on stuff. Like I want to get it done because like I don't know. Somebody said something one time about procrastination, and they're like, procrastination is like it's an abuse of God's grace because you're like, oh well, I'll have time.
Yeah,
and it's like maybe you're on borrowed. You on a credit. Like your credit is the blood of Jesus. So what do you mean I'll do it tomorrow? Tomorrow might not come. So like that really changed my perspective on like waiting and procrastination. Because even like yesterday, I had like on my schedule I would like do the exam, and I was like, oh, but I got home from like my class like 8 or 9 o'clock because it's the evening class. So I was like beat up, and I knew I had class. I knew I had I had an interview this morning. So I was like, come on, hey, like you got to figure this out here. And I was like, okay, let me just do a little bit. So I did a little bit of it and tried to do like some of them the free response. So I'm gonna just have to go through it and just like thug it out tonight. That way, like while doing my laundry, because I gotta pack, gotta get on the road tomorrow. Gotta get on the road, gotta get going. And so like, and then that way, like this weekend, I'm just getting the paper done. Like I want to have the paper done preferably by Saturday, but I'm gonna give myself Sunday just in case I want to be like la 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 on Saturday.
Go ahead,
No, Paris, I'm telling you, like. You have to kind of know yourself a little bit, which is strange because, like, what I'll do is like,
if I'll get it done now, it's not gonna get done.
Because, like, for me, like, I can start it a little bit and be like, okay, no, like the soft and hard deadlines, like I'm big on that. So that's why, like, I'll start an assignment that's not due till Friday on like Monday. That way, like, I'm working on it. But then sometimes I'm like, no, you just need to get this done, because you're dragging this out, and then I'll just sit there and just. That's why like this exam, I'm like, I really should have just finished it last night. But I knew I had to be up early this morning for an interview. So I was like, oh, nah, you gotta be prepared for that. And so I was like, okay.
You gotta be prepared
for
that.
real, like something's gonna take a back seat here. And so I was like, the exam. Like, what? Oh, that actually sounds so crazy.
Okay, so are you like the type of person that does your like assignments throughout the week? Or do you just like finish the whole week before, like that's the Sunday before?
Heavens no. Okay, because I have like work throughout the week, and so like you kind of can't afford to do it all on Sunday. And like the stuff that I have due on Sunday, like for one of my classes, every single Sunday we had a quiz, and so I was like, okay, I would do the quiz. Oh, well, I mean it's consistent and it's structured, so I appreciate it. Because I knew what to expect. So what I would do is like that Friday, I'll do the Sunday quiz on Friday because that's for the Lord. And so I'm like chilling on, I go to the service, or watch it like And then, come in, then I'm chilling, that day and preparing for the week. Like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, and did my laundry, stuff like that. Like, that's my prepare. But like to be doing assignments on a Sunday.
See, I'm the type of person that I'll get the whole week done the Sunday before,
I
or that weekend before,
can't.
just
Oh my
because I
gosh.
know that like
There is
the way that I
no-
go to work like 5 days out the week as a full-time student, and I still gotta get good grades.
Then also too, I don't have to go as hard as you.
You
Like,
see, I don't have to go as hard.
You are like, you gotta get to it. Like,
Yeah.
I have a little bit more of that flexibility.
No,
And
I
then
don't.
you also know too, like, look, if I'm working almost 30, 40 hours a week,
Yeah.
you ain't gonna have time to be doing school too, because school is a job. You know what I mean?
It is.
And so you're working.
That's why they say
during the
full
week,
time.
No, and they mean that.
That's why they say full time.
Because baby, you're going day for day.
Right.
And so like, I think that's why with that, like, like, okay, I'm gonna want to at least, like, when I come home, I don't have nothing to do.
I need that money.
But give me something to eat, brush my teeth, lay down, get in the tub, like, lay down, like, you know what I mean?
Want to deal with
I don't
school
yeah.
outside of class throughout the week.
So it makes sense. Me,
No.
no, I'm like, it's due Wednesday. I can do it Tuesday night.
Nah, not me. Because I work on Tuesdays. See that's my problem.
And I'll get it done Tuesday too. And also, like, I'm big on, like, if I have in between classes, I'll try to, like, scruff up, like, an assignment in between that time. So, like, in an hour and, like, 30 minutes, I'll try to, like, okay, let me, like, get it done real quick. And then that way, like, when I go home, I can maybe be at home. Or, like, do something else, kind of, like, get ahead. So I do stuff like that. That's also why I can kind of do I'll save it till Wednesday. Because all the other assignments due for Wednesday, I've already done them. I just have this one little part of this. So, like, it's different.
It is different. You think that's like a major based thing?
I don't know. Education is kind of a lot of work.
I know it's a lot of reading.
You gotta read, girl. I don't know. And social studies ed too.
And writing.
Yeah, the writing. It's a lot. And I have to, like, learn about all the social sciences
Ew.
and, like, studies, which is why I'm like,
Don't like
kind
that.
of intense. And my minor is criminology, which is pretty much like political science. So I'm in a lot of those classes.
And that's a lot of writing
and
too.
I'm like, and reading, and I'm like, I don't even like the law like that. So, like, what is happening? Like, what is happening? 911, if you're watching, I appreciate you, love you guys. But, like, I don't like the law like that.
Right.
Like, I'm not,
like,
especially like reading those documents and stuff. Now, First 48, that's a different story.
Okay,
I can get behind that. Okay,
because it just
no, it doesn't.
It's very interesting,
especially Memphis. Oh, love it. Like, I love them.
Right.
I mean, like, no, it's just like it's kind of a lot, and so yeah, but I'm enjoying it, and like when you're reading a lot of the stuff, like it's really insightful. So in applicable, I have to break that one down.
Applicable.
Yeah, because I didn't want to do all that.
Yeah,
it was a lot, and I was gonna mess that up, and then I was gonna be embarrassed. It upset.
It's fine.
Yeah, I know it's a safe space, but still.
Yeah.
But no, that was a cool little reef, but I don't even know
because we missed last week.
We did.
So we had to catch
because there were people
catch up that need to happen.
Yeah, that is so true. I remember like Thursday came and I was like, bro, I'm supposed to be doing something right now, and I knew it was a podcast, obviously. But I was just like, oh, like I'm supposed to be doing that now, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little guilty, but I was like, God knows what's going on.
Yeah,
like he really does, and he knows. So I was like,
there was like a time conflict.
It was
with the booking for the room, so
yeah. So I was like, oh. I was like, hey, relax, girl.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
peace, okay?
With me, right? With me, it was like I know I should be doing something, and I'm off. I was off last Thursday. Usually, I gotta go to work right after this.
Yeah, you be booking it.
Right. I gotta go to work right after this. Last Thursday, I was off, and I was like, something.
Yeah.
And I can obviously other people had the room booked, so I couldn't even just come up in here and just be
in here. Yeah.
Right. So I was like, I'm just watching another podcast or something.
This
just to get the feeling.
Cough is killing me. I'm sorry, but no, yeah, like watch a little podcast or something. Like, it's just like my voice. I'm realizing, bro, I'm killing that water, like, because I saw you. I was listening to you, good. And I was looking at you on the side of the bottle, and I was like, Paris might be like, girl,
nah, you good,
right over there. It's just like it's so dry. Like literally, I was drinking it, and it just felt dry still. Like I don't know what's going on. Like
it's probably that weather.
yeah,
It's been raining for days. I was really praying about that. I said, God,
for real. Because what
What
are you
is
trying to wash away, brother?
no, cause
Brother, what you trying to wash away? Please tell us.
no, cause I watched a series. It was like on Apple TV. It was called Swagger. I'm not sure if you
I don't have Apple television.
okay, right. So it was this.
Big money.
It was this. Okay. It was this scene where they went to go visit like a juvenile facility,
Right.
and there was this kid. It was a sunny day, and they're like looking up at the sky, and he's like, "It's gonna rain." So the dude next to him, he's like, "Bro, what are you talking about? Like it's partly cloudy outside." And as they're leaving, like a few hours later, it's pouring down raining. But he was like, I like the rain. It washed away all the bad stuff. I was like, that's so cute.
No, for real. That is so real.
So that's all I was thinking about. It was raining for all of them days.
Like it was like flooding.
Like back to
yesterday.
back to back days. Just full of rain.
And like it was flooding yesterday. And we would have like little breaks of maybe like 12 to 18 to 20 hours and like no rain maximum. And those were like combined in like little
Right.
gaps of the days. Because I mean, it would sit there and you would be on like thunderstorm or flood watch from like 8 p.m.
And then it was
until,
like
like,
tornado warning.
4 or 5 in the morning. But then you wake up and it's like 8 or 9 and it's drizzling and raining. So I'm like, okay, no, you're right.
It's
like
still
Friday, it was
raining.
like y'all cats and dogs. I said,
what? I mean.
yeah. When I was younger, I used to think like when it rained, God was crying. Like because he was like disappointed like that we was not locking in. So like
now I'm just like, look at him nourishing the plants and feeding the animals.
I know, girl, this little crackly ground, all them puddles that was in the grass, gone. That dirt was like, thank you, Lord. So that's
Thank
good.
you, Lord.
It's gonna be real plush around here. That's
right,
that's
real
good.
soon.
I know,
But I don't want it to like just because it went from like being really wet and humid outside, and
it's kind of
that
cold
sun-
and gloomy now.
Right, that sun gonna hit there. Sometimes it's gonna be really dry.
That is true.
That I don't like. I don't like
right
that.
back up.
I don't like that.
That,
Cause I'm used to like I can do the
humidity?
I can do the humid just cause
I feel like
I'm
humidity
from, like,
in
Houston is
Texas
always humid.
and humidity of one much different.
too yes very.
It's like I can do Texas heat, but in
That's cool. Like I do that. It's like it's like icky. It's like icky.
Please, I said I ain't never sweated no wig off in Texas
No.
on the hottest day.
I'm talking about 100
I said I get,
degrees.
girl, heat index 113. I get
Right.
here. I said, what is this?
Cause
And then the flies and
nasty
mosquitoes are
outside.
the size of
like
I don't
in
know.
Louisiana.
They're like this. I'm like, y'all, I can't.
right. Definitely not.
But I'm enjoying my time here.
I'm at the point to where
doing it. Oh, here, put them on your back.
right. I'm at the point to where I'm ready to go.
Put them on your
Like,
back.
it's
girl.
time to wrap this up. Like, let's get to the point. Let's get to the point. And I was praying about this yesterday.
Roll the credits.
Right. I was praying about this yesterday, and I feel like this displays a fraction of my relationship with God.
Okay, look at you.
Because
Tying
I was
the
like,
curriculum back.
right. So, because I was looking at med schools.
Right on.
Because, like, it's getting to that point. So, and I'm looking at, like, the MCAT requirements and GPA requirements and, like, extracurricular requirements.
Here, not to cut you off.
Right.
Real quick. What is the end goal here? Like doctor, nurse,
General
MA,
surgery.
Oh.
Yeah, general surgery. So I'm like, I
So
don't
you
really
have to know, like,
time
everything,
to be
right?
playing these games.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I'm trying to get to the point.
Mm.
Like, for me, like, university was like
I'm
stepping stone.
finding it. Right.
This is stepping stone. This
Just
is
to get
not.
you there.
This is not the finish line for me.
That is
So it
true.
was like, I'm looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, so a lot of this, like, these, like, the extracurriculars don't got that. Because I decided, like, well, I'm gonna just do, like, I'm gonna do me, I'm gonna go get a job. I don't really got time for extracurriculars. The whole time I need that.
You do, Paris. Like, you're more than a 100. You're more than an A. Like, people need to know, are you marketable in other things than just your academics?
Bro.
Like, you kind of be a little sociable. And that's something I noticed, too. Like, that's why it's like applied to like being an ambassador. I'm trying to be like a tutor, and now like all these things. Like for one, their experiences are like I think would be cool, and I was nervous about doing them too, and I even prayed about that. Like I prayed to God about that this morning. That was the interview was about. I was like Lord, thank you for like giving me that little like bit of courage and strength to apply. Because I mean, like they were emailing and emailing and emailing me, and I was like, man, let me just see. And I was like, I mean, I don't know. And I was like, I'm a little nervous. Like, can I commit to this? Can I do this? And like, we was just like, just do it. And so I was like, okay. And I did. And I was obedient to that. And I was like, Lord, like, oh, shut up. Thank you. Like, you know, boom, an ambassador. Boom, got another job. Boom, like, and it's all these things are coming that I didn't think I could do. You know what I mean? It's like, you have to put yourself out there.
That's
and it
true.
goes so much easier than said, which I mean, I'm still learning that daily, but I'm like, Haley, you gotta trust him.
Yeah.
Like he would not put you in these spaces to not support you. Like,
and
girl.
see, that was my thing because I was like,
Yeah.
you know, like I understand that in high school you gave me what I needed to get me where you needed me to go. Like in high school, you equipped me enough to say, okay, this is the university that I want you to go to.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, you know, like there's another step that needs to be taken. And he just basically told me, like, you know, I equipped you then, I'll equip you now.
Yeah.
To get you to where I need you to be. So it's like, you know.
And then that's the thing, like we're waiting on a sign. We're waiting on like firm confirmation and very clear and direct.
Right.
But then like we have to realize also too, like that's part of that relationship and his nature, that free will. Like I want you to choose me in the midst of that uncertainty as well.
Right.
And it's just kind of like hearing him and knowing who he is in his will and aligning your plans with those, even if it's like, I don't know, like, it's hard. Like, I was like, I'm telling you, Pierce, like, I was hit with so much doubt. I was just like, well, I don't know, like, can I commit to this? Like, I'm not even good at math. Like, ACT, SAT scores, trash. I was like, but the GPA was there and stuff, and I did, you know, Stuco and mentoring and all these different things. You know, I had academic awards and all that junk, so I had other things. But I realized I was like, but these tests kind of like make or break you when it comes to college coin. And when it comes down to it, I need a check. And that sounds bad,
GPA
but that's what it is. Yes, your GPA does matter.
Because this stuff got to get paid for.
And so that's what also helped me was having like a pretty high GPA and then doing some a little bit of those extracurriculars. And I was kind of mad at myself because like I should have did it sooner. But I realized like, I was like, I don't even know, like, can I apply for this? Like, I was like an ambassador. Like, can I even commit to that? I have all these other things. And I'm like, Haley, you really don't have all that stuff to do. Right. Like, what are you talking about? Like, girl, you just talking. And then I was just like, yeah, but like, can I like show up for these people? Can I do this? And then I get there and they're like, yo, yeah, we have these committees and this, down the third. And right now we're trying to build up this mentoring committee, which we have people, but it was just in the making last semester. So, they're graduating, so we need 2 new program leads.
So you put me a mentor,
girl? Here? Yes.
Oh my God, you mentor me?
Wait, it's within
I gotta sign up.
It's within the college education. I'm sorry, Pooh.
No.
I'm sorry. But I was thinking about that, and I was like, oh, I love mentoring. Cause like I did that with student council, and I was just like, oh. And that's the thing too. It's like these gifts that he gives us, they're not ours.
Yeah.
And like I have to look at that as, oh, why am I smiling so big? Well, that's insane. But no, like God's good. But I was like these are not mine. And it's like, even though I love to do these things and like it brings me great joy, like you're getting the glory, like in the end, even if it's not like somebody bowing down and praising and this, that, and the third, like they see that light in me, like, and I just think that's just such a beautiful thing. And like,
oh, that's dope.
It was just like I'm just like having like that moment, like especially like right now, I'm like, wait, like yeah, like these are not mine,
right?
And so yeah, they were like, yeah, and I was like, oh, mentoring, yep. And immediately I was on that, and I was like, here I was thinking that I didn't have a place in here and I couldn't do nothing, and boom, now I'm like co-coordinating a whole committee, and I'm just like, that's insane. Dang. And here I was about to pass up an opportunity for you to like get praise and honor. Girl, bye. Please. What? Please. But yeah, like we really just gotta like that faith, like really trusting in him, because it's hard. Like it is hard to obey and you know and things like that.
And it's not really looking like
like anything that you see out here in the front of you.
Like what you say.
Yeah, and I'm like, ooh, like we were saying the whole packaging and stuff.
Right.
Like just because the box is a little beat up doesn't mean that what's inside is not what you truly desire.
Right.
And even if it's not what you desire, you or what, even if it's not what you think you don't have a desire for, you do. Like you do, because you're gonna end up being exposed to it and realize like, wait, this is what I needed, despite it not being what I wanted. It's so much greater than that because it's what I needed, and it has so much bigger value because of that. So I just think that's a beautiful thing. To God be the glory, like literally. And then like I don't know, for like religion,
I feel like
religion is like an act.
I feel like
for
that's
some
where
reason.
you get stuck in like tradition and routine
And that's why I said it's an act, because I feel like it's kind of like things we do to check a box. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I made a point about that too, and I was like, read my Bible, pray, and I'm like, there's no relationship and no intimacy in that, because I'm looking at you as an 11:59 assignment
to do it
when it's really just like, girl, I'm not a grocery. Like what? Like you know, realizing like, wait, there needs to be a deeper connection here rather than just something I have to do. It needs to be a desire of mine to want to do it. And so like religion, that's why I kind of viewed it that way. Like, and with the laws and stuff like that, like, and even I'm trying to because my pastor preached a sermon about this like a few weeks ago. I think maybe like a few months ago, but it was kind of talking about that and like the commandments and like the law, and it was like we live by the law and things of that nature. But then when Jesus came, it was like, what law? Like, yes, the law, but like I
am the law.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's me, baby, in the flesh. And so it was kind of like, no, literally in the flesh. You talking about the law, baby? You looking at it?
Oh, and it's just
man, honestly, truly, like if I would have met Jesus back then, that would have been like so crazy. I would have been like, how have you been? Like, what's going on? Like, you are the law. Like, because I be reading it and I'm like, oh, come on. And like, I be writing in my Bible. I'm like, yeah, ate, devoured, because he had no business telling them about themselves like that. I was like, ooh. And so like things like that, and it's like, okay, you model yourself after Christ. You're doing your little law and you checking your box, and you're not even realizing that. But it's like
no time.
Exactly, and I'm doing my tithes and I'm going to church and I'm doing this, but then you leave the the sanctuary, you leave the church building, and there's no separation between you and the world. To me, that shows a lack of relationship, because you're no longer taking the word, which is God, and living by that truth and living by Him. It's not applicable no more. Oh, wait, got it. Like, you're not applying it at all, and so it's like you're just doing it to do it. And that's what I feel like religion kind of is. It's just like something to make me feel good and feel like I'm living righteously. Right. When in reality, it's like, I don't know you from the person, deep up in it. So, yeah, just something to think about. That's my little 1-2. Because I mean, like, I feel like I was like talking a lot.
No, you could.
You gotta give me a swig and a little bit extra.
No, I feel like in the Bible, like the main people, obviously we know the main people that displayed religion over relationship was Pharisees, Sadducees, and we see how that went. We see how that went. We see where that ended them up at. Yeah, you doing all of the stuff, you doing all the things, but you don't even know who I am. And if anything, that's just like, bro, you don't know me for real. You know of me. Yeah. Like you've been in my house, right? You've been in the temple, and we ain't never had a real conversation. You just roaming around my crib, like, what's going on?
I know, and then going around telling folks that you know me,
like,
because you put a few coins in the bucket. Girl, bye.
You been around. I know you from around the way, but I don't know you for real. Like, I just know where you be at. Like, I know your crowd, and like I can get that. I can gather that information from afar. So when it's like I can gather that information just by looking, like watching. So it's like for you to say that you know me just because you've been watching.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, no.
Okay, I see what you mean. So I definitely was like, poopy, I'm lost. But no, I found it.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's so real. And that's another thing too, like when we kind of broke down like the knowing. And it was like, in the Bible, when they were like, and Adam knew Eve, that was a form of intimacy. And in that form, it was sexual, physical intimacy. But then also, you see it come up again you know, when Jesus is addressing us and he's like, you know, like, apart from me, I never knew you. And it's like that also is an intimacy there. It's not the same as the context between Adam and Eve, but it is still a form of intimacy and relationship. And
because it's like if we're not spending no time together, we ain't having we ain't talking, we ain't chopping it up. I don't know you for real, and you don't know me for real.
I know. They were like, compete. And it was like, baby, who what?
That's just like knocking on the door. It's like, who is it? Me?
Yeah.
Who is me?
That is so real. Ooh.
That be the main thing. Who is me? Like, it's different when you can recognize that voice.
Yeah.
But in this context, I don't even know I don't know who this man is.
Kiki, no. I know. And that's something too, like, I be praying and be like, because, like, I'm not gonna lie, me and, like, God have a lot of, like, quick conversations, like, throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like, I know some folks who, you know, they sit there and they'll get you and they get to praying.
See?
Like, and, like, I be feeling bad because, like, I kind of feel like, oh, well, am I not, like, enough? Because I'm not, you know, doing that and going in the closet. And I have to realize, I'm like, Kaylee, you are doing comparing and, like, for what?
And
like,
then even with like the quick conversations throughout the day, that's like you doing life with him.
And I had to look at that a little bit too, and I was
that's
like, that's me trying to incorporate him, and not like, ooh, because I have to, but like, I really want to, like, you know, I gotta consult with my God, like, I gotta, you know, like, hey, like, what are we doing? What's going on? No,
what's really going on?
Like, what's going on? You know, and like, show me what I should be doing, and then having those moments of doubt, and then it's like, Haley, just do it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do it, you know, and it's like, I need that little firm hand, and like, I mean, like I said, you know, because he'll come to you like that way,
right?
And then, like, and then but there, like, the nudging of the Holy Spirit too, and I'm just, it is a work in progress.
It always is.
Yeah. Yes, and that's another thing that, like, I had to know, like, realize as well. Like, we're young, and like, we babies, and like, also even in our walks with Christ, and even though we're like working and striving to be more mature in our walks, and just even in life, by using Him and helping Him, like, helping us get through it, by Him helping us get through it. I'm like, I just have to realize, like, I have to give myself a little bit more grace, not as far as just like, okay, like, you know, cut up, you're young. No, because no. This is where you start laying the foundation. No, you need to start laying that foundation. Nah, you know. And it's not saying that He cannot restore you and transform you later on in life, because He has saved several individuals past this stage that we are at right now. However, you know, we don't know how much time we have, and living as if like you got 9 of them bad boys is insane. Like, it's just insane, and it's very like careless, and it's almost, in my opinion, like it's like a disrespect, you know, to God. Like I'm saying, the same thing with like the procrastination.
I get to it when I get to it.
Yeah, like I'm saying, same thing with the and it's like, bro, baby, you just don't know.
You really don't.
At the time of the hour. No, but no, like,
no, they used to scare me so bad.
No, me too. So I'm saying, like, right now. Kind of for a second. I did not play that. But I was like, you gotta stop living in fear before he gets you.
It got to the point to where, like, when I first got saved, and this is so crazy, I was like, come get me now. Like, if I die today, I'm straight. Like, it was awesome. Like, bro, like, I don't mind, you know. I don't mind, you know. You feel me?
You know, it's gonna take me now before I get tainted again.
That's really what it was. It was like, I don't mind turning off the TV before it gets to some weird scenes.
Because I'm not, and that was the thing, like, that's realizing, like, okay, like, this is a process, and it's a journey, you know, and, like, when your journeys, like, they come with challenges and adversity, but they also have beautiful and breakthroughs and things like that. Like, I feel like a journey and a voyage and all those things, like, they mean something. What you doing? They mean something. And so it's like that as well. And like, I have to look at it like, I'm in this for the long haul, which I feel like y'all probably heard me say before. Like, I am, like, this is an investment in the relationship that I invest in my family, with my friends, with you, my girl. Like, it's an investment of time, of money, of effort, emotions, like all these
And then
things.
it's limitless.
Exactly.
Like, until it's over.
Like.
And you don't know. So it's like,
That's
just here.
That's true.
For as long as I can be, anyway.
Yeah. That is so real. That's so true. Like jumping.
For real.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I feel like every time I look over there, it's like 4 or 5 more people. Like,
right.
We are maximum capacity.
No, for real.
But no, yeah, like just viewing it differently. Like our relationship it's more than the laws. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to look at you like a chore. And that was why like I started doing the quick prayers, because I was like, oh, ways that I can kind of start incorporating you more and talking to you more throughout the day, rather than like, oh, before I go to bed.
For real, because
praying for 30 minutes.
Wait, right wake up 30 prayers.
Yeah, wake up 30 minutes. Now I ain't gonna lie. I still, at the end of the day, I will sign, still deliver every once in a while. I'll be like,
right,
and we'll sit there, we be chatting it up. And
right.
like, it be really conversational. Like I swear, like it doesn't feel like a prayer. Like it does, but it feels like I'm just talking, because I'm just talking. Like
literally,
how I'm doing right now.
Right.
And I'm like I'm struggling with that. But then like, can I even say that I'm struggling? Because like I keep doing this. And he's like, and I'm like, well, okay,
all right, then. Okay.
And I'm like, okay, so then like, can you help me like to not, you know what I mean? Like when I see the out, like, and he's like, well, this was an out, that was an out, that was an out, and so now I'm seeing like, okay, what do my escapes from temptation look like?
Right.
You know?
Oh shoot.
And like, and things like that. And so now like he's been exposing those things to me, and I'm like, okay, now I can't be like, well, I didn't know. No, you did. You turned into a blind eye, because I showed you what they look like to you. And so like, and I've noticed I get more back from him like that. And yeah, and I just didn't feel the pressure of like trying to run through everything. It was more of just like, as soon as I thought of it, like boom. Like I had a thought one time and I was like, oh Lord, like, and I was like, God, like, why do I be thinking like that? And like I remember I was talking to you about that, and it was like, well, it's in your heart, and I'm like, shut up, no, it's not. And he's like, well, I mean, it's
coming from somewhere,
right? It's coming from. It didn't just out of it, right? It didn't just kaboom about it, nothing. And I was like, oh, don't say that, because you don't want to believe the grime and soot about you, but like
it's real,
yeah. And I cannot like shy away from like those convictions, because like I need that in order to grow, right? Like hello, and so to sit there and act like I don't need convictions is a display of pride, and that's one of the 7 deadlies,
right?
You know what I mean? And so I'm like, I can't be having pride now. I can't have them all. Come on, please, Lord.
Wait.
Literally crying real actual tears.
No, that's so real,
because God Almighty, I cannot. And so I was like, absolutely not. So I've been really big on, humility and humbling myself, which I feel like I got that pretty early on. Every now and then I've been working on it, because I did like develop my own confidence, and then I was like, girl, you relax, sister, relax. And so yeah, like that. But I noticed like I feel like I get more from the conversation, and I see more from him, and I'm hearing him more, and it's like boom, stuff is just coming up, and then I'm thinking about it, and it's like, well, you're doing that, and the Holy Spirit was like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, girl, because here we go, being messy again, right? Like, but in reality, it's
like if this was a reality TV show, gag.
There is.
Gag.
When I tell you ratings out of the roof, girl, what? Girl, what? They be like, ooh, that inner dialogue is insane.
Crazy.
No, for real, like.
I feel like I get.
Oh, take your time. I did pray that he came with us.
Right.
That's the one I do. I do that. I put that in there every single Thursday.
Right. I'm finding it. I feel like I get more, and it's common sense, but when you deep in like sin or like just deep in, it's so much like common sense don't be so common. But now I'm saying like I get way more out of our relationship when I give like 100% yes, cause we've talked. What is you gonna say? I don't like the face that you do.
No, I mean, because I can agree, but I was like, what you're saying was like common sense is like common sense, and I was like, okay, is that because like we don't want it to make sense to that way we can ride on the excuse of confusion and be like, well, I didn't know because like that be me too. Yeah, no, it definitely does. Our desires definitely do because it's like this is what I want. And like I'm compromising and making excuses so that what I want doesn't look like something demonic and crazy. It looks like something that could be a little beneficial,
right?
If we only do it every now and then, but it's like no, now and then becomes every day, and every day becomes every 10 years worth of something, and you're stuck because you compromise with sin. Oh,
right,
gross. Oh,
compromise.
No. But I'm thinking to myself too. Trust.
And there's but you can definitely see like a shift
yeah.
between you giving a half yes, but knowing like I still want to do that. Then giving your full yes, you're saying like I'm not gonna do
because
that.
I feel like the full yes is like the turning away.
Right.
Half yes is like you're still like have to be persuaded, and you're still kind of like holding on and trying to compromise
kind of fun,
because you wouldn't be halfway doing it if you weren't holding on to the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when you give your full, it's like okay, I'm turning from that. Like
nah,
I'm feeling like okay, I'm convinced. I can't nope. You know what I mean? Like so.
There was that. I had that shift recently, and it's like we talked about like dreams and stuff. I started getting my dreams back because it was like a time where I was falling asleep and waking up.
Girl, you better say that.
And I was like, this is not regular for me because like I have like dreams. I started getting my dreams back. I had a dream where I had a pistol tucked on me like at all times.
Whoa.
Hold on, it sounds crazy. But I went back and I prayed about that. And then I was like, I feel like that just means that like I'm protected. Like there's protection around me. And I went back and I read my Bible that same night, and it was like those who find protection in the Lord. Happy are those who find protection in the Lord.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's
covered. Okay. Thank you.
Right.
I didn't know he was packing heat, but like I understand.
But like that's how it presented.
No. And hey, he speaks in crazy ways.
All right. I'm talking about I had that with a tucked on me. I'm talking about at work, at school. Okay, with mom, church.
No, because the way
I'm protected.
My heart was so broken when they shot up that church.
Dang.
And that's like my dad. He was like, "Man, nowhere is this." I mean, you used to be like times like you couldn't even think about doing something like that. And I was like, "No, that's so real."
You scared to even walk past the church
with a pistol. Smoking a cigarette, go to the other side of the street, and so it's just like, man, times have definitely changed. But no, I feel you on that though. Just him revealing himself once again through, mediums that we understand.
Right.
It's just beautiful, and I also think that shows a relationship because it's like I know how to reach you, even if you don't think I do. I can. You're not untouchable, girl, and I'm like, God dang it, because we want to turn a blind eye, like you said, deep up in it, deep in sin, and you like. Ooh, and it's like no, and somebody said something also to the other day. It was like those are the moments that he wants us to run, bolt, sprint to him. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, no, he doesn't. And I'm like, oopsie. And it's like, no, he does, and that's enough. And like, no, and have internalized that,
right?
Like, but no, like and I realized I'm like, but Haley, and I know that's not me. That's the Holy Spirit. He didn't yell at me trillions of times like, girl, no, this is when you need to be seeking refuge in the Lord. Go. And then I have the moments I'm like, well, yeah, because I've heard this a million times over, and it's like, no, like this is when he wants me to come to him. And I'm like, okay. And so then you gotta swallow your little pride, and not even pride as in like, oh, I ain't do nothing. Pride isn't just like, ooh, pride isn't thinking like, how do I put this? Okay, me choosing to not seek God would be a display of pride because I rather take matters into my own hands.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. And so, like, even if I'm like, I'm scared and I feel guilty, whatever the case may be, I still view that me as a display of pride because I'm like, I'm trusting that I can keep myself comfortable to not have to deal with that.
Right.
And so, yes, I was like, oh, like I said, can't have two of them up on you.
Right.
So I was like, hey.
They never come out itself as the thing.
They don't. And so I was like, okay, bet. And so I'm like, all right. I'm like, hey, Lord.
Right. What's going on?
Hey, and I'm like, I know you already know, but
You say anyway.
yeah, confess those sins.
Literally.
Confess those. And I was like, so yeah. And then I say, and then I'm like, okay, but I've got to stop coming to you about the same thing over and over again. So what are we doing?
Right. I get to the point where I'm like, I know, like, this junk getting redundant. Like,
Yes, no, I said to him, like, I'm sure you're tired of like hearing this.
right.
And then it'd be silent. And then I'm like, no, I know. I'm like, but show me one more time what I did. like I swear, and it's just, and that's the thing too, like realizing like that's my father, that's my dad, like, you know, the dads of all dads. And it's like, yes, he's gonna discipline me and things of that nature, and it's like, okay, but those are like the consequences of my actions, so like what
Right.
do you expect? But then at the same time I'm like,
But you only get consequences after I've already told you.
exactly.
Don't
Because I
touch
mean,
that
I
stove.
can't, girl. And then some of them are not even consequences that I inflict on you. It's just the consequences of those actions. Like you said, I told you
Right.
don't touch the stove because the stove is hot and what the stove is capable of doing to you.
And what you did.
Not what I can do to you.
Right.
You touched the stove and got a direct response from the stove, not me.
Right.
And so now you're realizing that, oh, wait a minute. These things that he's shielding me from have the power to hurt me and show me things.
Mm-hmm.
I think all my punishments and all my lessons are coming from God, but not everything is coming directly from Him. And I don't mean to say that as in like not everything, because everything is,
Right.
but as in like in that instance,
Response
like
to my actions.
yes, that was like the stove was able to do that to you. I didn't do anything to you, but I knew the consequences of what this is going to do.
I warned you about it.
Exactly. And so I think it's like in those cases, because you know, sit there, things happen, and we're like, God, why did you let this happen to me? And this, that, and the third. I'm like,
You
girl,
let this happen to
I'm
you.
not the one who set you on fire. I'm not the one who made you touch the stove. You know what I'm saying? You did that. I told you the stove is hot.
What had the stove tempting?
Right. I told you that boy don't want you.
Oh.
He calls you every night at 11:30 p.m. The streets are bare around that time. But you think he loves you. And then you wake
nothing open.
Exactly. And then now you're there at dark 30. You wake up. You got like, girl, I told you. And then now you're like, but Lord, why didn't you just tell me that he was the one?
No, because sometimes it's like you gotta get up, just get out the bed. Just get out the bed. What's going on?
Yeah, you're looking at him as in the Lord, like, why didn't you come save me, come help me? And I'm like, I warned you, not because of what I was going to do to you, but what that was going to do to you.
Right.
And I knew that was capable of doing something to you.
Because you don't got it.
And you don't know everything.
I don't got the answers.
Like, literally, he's like, baby, I know this. I know it. You don't know this. And realize that too, I'm like, and I start to realize that too, I'm like, okay, rejection, like, it's not for me. He's protecting me from something.
Right.
Boom. Just keeps it moving on because I'm like, you love me so much, and we tight like that. Even if I don't think we are. And the reason why I say this is because me, right? You know, and I'm in my head, and even like I'm gonna think he's like, you worry a lot. I'm like, oh dang, thanks. Because
but no, that's real.
Because you didn't even have to air it out on the table like that. I was not even prepared or anything. Right. And then something I was like, oh,
living my life. And
I was like, well, you know, but boy, I do. And it was like, yeah, I wouldn't have said it. And I'm like, oh, all right.
Now.
And I'm like, yeah. And like, I literally, and that's what gets me, it makes me like, that's why I love it. Because I'm like, bro, like, I sound like that. Like, and I'm like, God is really like, he's getting me, using me. And like, I'm like, you need that. Like, you really do. And how I know it's him using me is because I'm like, I wouldn't be saying nothing that good. Like,
definitely not about me.
Girl, somebody cut you out the middle of the road. Yo, I'm telling you, somebody's name was driving so slow in front of me the other day.
Bro.
And I was like, what are you doing? And then I was like, and then I sat there and I heard my voice and I was like, Haley, why are you so turned up?
Like,
and I was like, and I sat back in the seat and I was like I shouldn't even let this be getting me like this. See, and I was like, I gotta calm down. It's like, bro,
it gets serious. It gets serious when the people in them bicycles is in front of me and I'm talking like, you don't got the speed I got right now. What's going on? Get in the bike lane. Get in the bike lane.
that
not
do
playing
bother me
games.
too a little bit. Or the ones in the go-karts. Like, this is not an automobile.
And
Get
now,
on the sidewalk.
and now I gotta look past you when I drive.
Yeah.
Don't play with me right now. And now I'm singing my worship music all extra hard and loud. So I'm trying to calm down, but you really got
I
me.
know, trying to recover. Shake back. Shake it
Now
back.
I'm singing my worship music aggressively. Because why are you trying to take me there right now?
No, for real. But no, like, just realizing that I'm like, wait a minute, like, thanks, you're looking out for me again, as you always do. Love you.
Love you.
Love you. So yeah, I don't know, but like, you don't really get that out of religion. You know, like, I don't think religion.
It's not healing,
and it doesn't have the same intentional impact in my opinion, because I feel like it's just really surface. You're not doing any deep work.
I feel like if anything, religion can wear you out.
Oh yeah, because I feel like
it's like
you're acting. It's an action.
And you know what that is? I think I seen like a video or something where they was like, that's how Muslims live their life, and it's based on if I'm doing all of this good stuff, then I can get to heaven or whatever they call it, paradise, I guess. But it's like that's the same thing as religion. As a Christian, you depending on your works, right? And it's not gonna get you nowhere. Like, yeah, you did that, cool.
But the
thank
faith,
you, even. But
I know, but faith without them works, it's dead, baby.
Literally. And I feel like religion, it's more hurtful than anything.
And like a relationship is built on faith. I'm trusting you with my secrets. I'm having faith in that you can provide me emotional support, physical support, mental, spiritual support. Like, relationships are an investment, and when you invest, you have faith. Oh, okay, come on, God. Like, so like it's. I think it's just a really real. Oh, I hope that was like loud enough. But no, like, you're trusting and you're being faithful in that. And yeah, like you were saying, it's just kind of like you're just working.
Yeah, religion is more hurtful than anything, because even the Bible tell you you're not perfect. Oh, yeah, like you're gonna fall. So, and if you live in your life based off religion and you fall, then you feel like, oh God, I hate me. Like, that's not very, like, I feel like that could be more harmful than helpful.
Oh yeah.
Whereas like relationship is more so like healing. Like, there's things that we don't even realize that we dealing with throughout like growing until we get grown. Yeah. In the aspect of age. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't realize that I was struggling with until I got grown.
And then started trying to walk in alignment with Christ and realizing that, wait a minute, what I thought was the norm or regular or this, that, and the third is by far not that. Right. And like how uncomfortable that can be. And that's why, like, trusting in his transformation and like capabilities, like, he can change me. And that's another thing too, like, that brings up a point, even like with struggling with vices and stuff like that, like being obedient and trusting God is showing that you have faith that he can deliver you from those things that you feel like have you hostage. And I was like, well, that's real, because I'm praying like, remove this from me, and he's showing me how to do that, but I'm still doing what I want to do. And so it's like, okay, you're not showing any type of faith because you're not trusting that I can pull you up out of that.
Right. And dealing with struggles and stuff, I feel like, if anything, religion would intensify the pain that comes with
because it's struggling. Like, you didn't do this, oh, boom.
You didn't do that. Hell. And it's like,
yeah. Hell. You're going to hell. I be like, wait a minute.
Like, and that's like, but, and with relationship, like, you can only get healing and restoration from the brokenness in your life through relationship with God. Like, I see, like, I prayed about this like a few days back. Like, we had a long conversation.
I know, that's right.
And it was like the relationship that I'm in, like with my boyfriend or whatever. Yeah. It was before we even got together, when I was in 10th grade. Like, we was just, right. But we met each other in like 7th grade. So like from then to now, it's been like that. Okay. So it's like in 10th grade, he told me that basically like there's gonna be a lot more than that. it's gonna be a lot more than y'all just being friends. And now it's like we actually in relationship, whatever.
Yeah.
And I see parts of me that I realized were broken in childhood that I didn't realize until I got grown. But I see those parts of me that God is using Him to heal in me in a way, and it's like that's so sweet. That's so sweet. It was like stuff that's like deeper than the scar can show.
Yeah.
And that I didn't even realize was there until it came a point that I needed healing from it. And I can see God using Him to heal those things in me.
That's beautiful.
And I can only you can only get that through relationship.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. You can't get that from religion.
He knows what you need, yeah.
Right.
And sometimes like you just need to show up in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. I do. I think that's really beautiful.
I like that when you said show up. I feel like that was like my main thing. Like I don't really be needing people to.
I'm sorry. I was like, what did I say?
Right. I don't really be needing people to like
perform
say
work
nothing.
and do something crazy. Yeah.
It was more so just like, just be there, like just show up. And oh my gosh, it's gonna get personal. Okay, if that's what you want to do. If that's what you want to do.
And that's where you're taking me. Thanks.
So right. So growing up, my dad. Oh my gosh, this is real personal. I don't mind talking to That's the thing. I don't mind talking to Haley. That's the thing. It's the people that everybody don't got best intentions. But if you want me to talk about it, I'll just talk about it.
That's such a. Oh wait, you're not.
No,
not
at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
let him.
My dad had a drug problem for most of my life. Like, and when when you're younger, you don't really know what's going on. But I think about like second grade.
Yeah,
I knew
you started
like,
knowing.
All right, something.
Something just ain't right here.
So with that, I always feel like he was present, but like you was there, but you really wasn't there.
Absent presence.
Right. Mm-hmm. You was there, but you really wasn't there. And oh my gosh, I know my mom gonna watch this.
Really, she is.
No, I know she gonna watch.
Oh wait.
And
it's okay, Mama. We love you.
Yeah, I love you, Mom. It's not a blow, but
yeah.
In a way, like after my parents got divorced, I realized that my mom became really absent too. Like there was a point in time where me and my two older sisters were living in an apartment by myself while my mom took my two little sisters and went with significant others. So that point in my life, like I'm not talking to my dad, but he was absent anyway.
Yeah.
And now my mom is absent, so it's kind of just like we basically fending for ourselves, right? So growing up, like I didn't realize like how much that affected me because at the time it was just like, well, it
you
is
gotta do what you gotta do,
right?
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like that's just the way it's going right now. And then when I got older, it's not like I don't want to say abandonment issues because I don't really. I mean, it depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you look at it, but it was a thing where, even now, it's just like I don't really need you to say nothing. Just be there because I didn't have that, and I didn't realize how much it affected me until I realized.
Yeah,
and it was like I didn't have those like strong relationships with my parents. And to be honest, like I used to say, like even when I was little, I used to say like, y'all don't know me for real, y'all just live with me. T was clogged. I'm talking about as a jit. I know I used to know like, but that was real.
You are federal.
That was real. It was like y'all don't know me for real, y'all just live with me. Like we just live together. Like even like
that's a powerful thing to say, especially at such a young age.
Right, and I feel like that's like thinking way too deep into it. Yeah. Like you're supposed to be just being a kid, but it
like
was so much
to the
other
principle
stuff
of it, yeah,
going on that is like
it's way more symbolic than just the words.
Right, and we don't talk. Like we don't. It was a household like we're not expressing our feelings, so you don't know how I feel about nothing.
And I mean, the way you're presenting it either doesn't look like you have any regard to know.
Right. It was like, well, that
So that's
happened.
sending a message. In
That happened
itself.
on to the next, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like that kid that bred
Yeah.
a problem with communication. So like I didn't know how to talk about my feelings, or I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Or it was like a point in time where like I'm not acknowledging that I just need some time,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm kind of letting it linger until it dissipates.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't very.
It's not healthy. I'm gonna
No.
tell you straight up. Which I mean, you already know, because
Right.
it's like, what if it doesn't? And then also too, at the same time, like you can't like unexperience something. You know what I
No.
mean? So like once it's done, it's done. It's happened, and like you will never like forget that.
No.
And so it's kind of like, at the same time, it's like, to ignore something doesn't remove it. It just means you're no longer focusing on it anymore.
Yeah, and that was.
But that
it
doesn't
became
mean
so easy
exactly
to do that.
But then other things start triggering other things, and you realize like, oh man, it's a lot deeper than what it is.
Right.
And then like you were saying, like just kind of healing things with you in your adult life. And it's like a lot of times adulthood trauma is pretty much just unmet needs as a child.
Yeah.
You know, like with the attention. You know, some folks that have had, felt some type of neglect or a little abandonment or things like that with the absent present parents, since that's the topic or things that like,
right,
they are, some of them can be attention seeking, like they want everybody's attention, can I do this, can I do that, or in some individuals it shows up as hypersexuality. So you got a little girl, the first little boy, every little boy to smile, say, hey, he on that, she on that, you know what I mean? Like, and then on the flip, the boy will, son, like, just da 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 da, and then you viewing women as a commodity now, just to build you up, and so now you running through every little lady, and so it's just like that, and it's just really what it stems to. It's just not meeting the needs of that child, and then they show up in adulthood, and then you're wondering like, why am I struggling with communication, or why do I have such bad anger issues? Because you were always suppressing your emotions, and then when you are afforded those opportunities to do so, you don't know how, because you just let things get so bad. Like that was me. Like I had to learn that. I learned that at a really young age. Like I would get like so pissed off and so like heavy laden that like my body would ache, and I'm like, this is not okay. And I'm like, I like, yes, I mean, I still have those. It's bad, and I said there too, and I googled it, and I was like, what does that even mean biblically? And I mean, it was kind of like, it was like you just carry a lot, like you take on a lot, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically. You take on a lot, and I thought about it, and I was like, I kind of do, and I was like, oh, Haley, I was like, God, I ain't trying to do your job now. So I was like, I'm gonna start. I was like, if I start sending them boys up rapid fire, I mean, I know you're gonna be ready. But like, and some people like, I just bottle it so badly, and it was to the point where like I would like feel myself like, just like I'm gonna like explode, and like I end up getting into a fight and stuff, and like that was my turning point for me. And I'm like, yeah, I can't keep putting up with this. Like, folks do what you allow them to do. Yeah. And then people are like, well, you can't tell people how to treat you. You can by what you put up with. Yeah. People will like completely avoid doing that stuff to you based on how you've handled those situations in the past. That's literally what a boundary is. But I think what a lot of people think with boundaries is like, mama, you didn't show up for me in these ways. So like, this is really like a real one. Like, mama, you ain't show up for me in these ways. And I've expressed that to you before. So if you do this again, I'm going to do this.
Okay, that's retaliation.
No, it's not. And because I'm going to do this, it's not like anything physical. Okay. It could just be like, I'm just not going to give you access to me like that no more. So our conversations are not going to be, they're not going to be as, all that. I'm not going to be reaching out and extending myself anymore.
Like, I'm not going to give you a chance
like
to do
that.
It again.
Like, yeah, not like I'm going to beat you down or nothing.
Right.
But a lot of people just think they leave the action part out. Right. It's like, well, I don't like when you talk to me like this, and they think that's the boundary. No, you're just saying a statement of what you don't like. What are you going to do if that behavior presents itself again? That is the boundary, because now you're showing you crossed this line. A line is a boundary. These are the repercussions. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like the protection of God. Like, okay, you do this, you cross this line, this threshold, this boundary. these are the consequences of that. Are you ready for that?
Right.
You crossed that line.
Well,
And so it's kind of like those things, but or on the flip, they're like you. Completely shuts down.
yeah.
Don't want to talk to nobody. You don't care what I gotta say anyway, so why am I gonna say it? Because that was
clocking.
me. That was literally me.
Right.
Like, why are you even asking me? You don't care. I tell you how I feel. You go and do the complete opposite. So why would you even ask me?
You just wasted my time.
And yours too. You could have saved that breath.
Yeah, you could have saved that. Like, I don't want to say heartache, but that was unnecessary pain that happened.
Yeah, because I bought into that.
Because I trusted you.
I bought into that. I did, and then only for it to keep blowing up in my face. And for me, you got about 1 or 2 times. And I said 1 or 2 because after that first one, I'm already looking at you upside your head a little bit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm already looking at you like, okay.
Right.
But no, yeah, like, I've seen both of them.
Mm.
And then realizing that, like, okay, the blowing up, flipping the tables, jumping on cars is unacceptable. But so is the suppressing your emotions and bottling it up. Because eventually that will lead to that. And ain't no coming down from that.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when you've been compressed and then you letting y'all
Because
see
it's
y'all
like
see Monsters Inc.
blow your
Them
whole
little
top,
screams in
like-
them little screams in that little kid. Y'all see Monsters Inc. Underneath all that pressure. Them things explode, flying across the room, uncontrollable. You don't want to let yourself get to that point. And I had to think about that. And then I turned to God a lot, like,
then
like,
that trickles over into your relationship with God, because now it's like, I don't really talk about my feelings, so I don't know how to tell you how I feel about something. Or people always leaving, so I feel like if I mess up, you gone.
For me, it was a little bit of that, but it was more of, all right, I've got to be everything for me. The emotional, maybe not the monetary, because I don't do it, it don't get done. The physical.
Yeah, it was that.
Even to this
had that bad
day. And it's like, I have to sit there and I have to tell myself that too. And like, I've even cried like to God. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I've been sitting here trying to do your job. I've been failing, obviously, which is why I'm breaking down, singing Monica, sliding down my wall right now. I was like, but like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, at the same time, like that. Right. And that hyper independence. And so I'm trying to incorporate him in my life a whole lot more. That's also why I started trying to do the more quicker prayers throughout the day. Because when I realized, like, my attention, I don't know if I got a little undiagnosed something, but it's getting out of control. And that's another thing, too. I'm like, I got to stop chasing this instant dopamine and gratification. Like, we got to build up a little bit of, sustainability here. And so I was like, okay. But, yeah, so, the quicker prayers were like, I noticed it was just trying to get him in more things. Because I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, well, I'm not doing anything wrong, like, I can just make this decision. Like, it's not a bad decision to make. Like, but then, like, I didn't even consult with you and be like, what you think? Like, what you think? Like, and I'm realizing, I'm like, oh, again, whether it's intentional or unintentional, what did you do? And I'm like, gross. And so I'm like, well, I'm not trying to act like prideful. Like, that's not where my heart was at. And he's like, yeah, no, trust, baby. I know that. And I'm like, okay, great. So, okay, like, so I'm like, okay, but like, I will try to do that more. Like, hey, God, like, I think it's a chill idea. And he's like, maybe I can build up on it more. And I'm like, well, yeah, you're capable of doing whatever you like. Right. So yeah, you definitely could. And just little things like that. And I'm like, and I've noticed it. Same thing with like that. Like, we meet the y'all. Right. Auntie is killing me. I'm killing y'all. Okay. Like, even with the ambassador thing, like, I'm like, I can't do that. But I'm like, just apply. So I'm like, okay, just apply. And then now I'm getting into it, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then, boom, add into it. You love to talk, you love to make connections and relationships with people, mentoring. You already love doing that anyway. Do the program. Right. Run the committee with somebody else. And I'm like, oh, adding to it. You're taking it so much further than what I thought. I literally thought I was just going to be an ambassador. And that was the thing, too. Our desires and what we want for ourselves is so simplistic in comparison to what God's plan is for us. Is that, like,
I was just talking about this the other day.
Like, we sell ourselves so short. Just apply. Boom. Committee lead. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it doesn't, like, compare. I'm not saying that's such a big, drastic thing, but it's like I'm taking you one more step. And then now I've capitalized on a little bit of that confidence applied to these other camps, applied to this one thing that, like, I can almost get like $5,000 a semester just tutoring students. That's what I had this interview for. And I'm like, well, I love building relationships. I'm trying to be a teacher anyway. I mean, I'm not the best at math, but like personality will get me there.
Right.
And they gonna teach me too. Like,
Yeah.
that's money on the table. You was just crying and the Lord told something, you need a little coin. Here's some coin.
Right.
And you're gonna be doing what you already like to do. Haley, come on. All just because you said just apply. And I was like, okay, well, I could just try. And then it just keeps going. And I'm like,
That's
I'm
a trust
noticing that
thing.
it's like, yes, I'm realizing like it's more connected than that. Because
Yeah.
the principle lies so much deeper. You're trusting me. And I'm showing you what I can do for you when you trust me.
Right.
So trust me with everything. Hello. Oh God.
Oh, hello.
Right, girl, he told you to give it back. He did. He know that. No, that's so real though. And I was just like, ooh, that's insane. Come on, Lord.
Right.
Thank you. But like that's real though. And it's like what we think we want it. Nah, I ain't gonna sit here and be like, oh no, I just didn't know what I was thinking. Baby, you knew. I
Right.
knew too. We were right there with you. But it's like he can take it so much further. Like, and he will. That little babe. Like, trust him. And it's really beautiful to see. And then getting, like, I don't know, connecting with all these people and networking and doing this and doing that.
See, that's
sitting in rooms that I didn't think I was going to be sitting in. People, like, all these things. And I'm like, Lord, oh me, shut up.
yeah, Haley, that's you all day
Oh
because
me.
I-
Like,
I'm not a people person. I say that's Haley all day.
yeah, y'all can tell I can, oh baby, I can run it.
Cause what? No, but I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, there's a difference between things that were given to you and things that grew on you. Since elementary school, I knew that medicine, like this is like the dopest thing in the world to me. I'm talking about elementary school, and it stuck with me all those days. And then I got to college, and I'm like, oh, like I really wish I would have picked an easier
This
like,
mess is hard.
I
It's hard.
wish I would have picked something way easier. But then I'm thinking like, I didn't even pick this. Like, it was just something that was like, there you go.
And then that's another thing too. You're like, it's hard. I'm struggling, but you're still doing it,
right?
And you're
like,
like,
I know I can
somehow. And it's like, right. Look to my left. Look to my right.
somehow.
Right. Somehow. Oh, wait a minute. Like I'm
Very
getting it
much.
done, and then I'm not. And even in the moments where I'm like, oh, I can't do this, I'm finding it. You're supplying
it's like,
it, like, and here you are, still talking about. Well, I didn't like medicine. I'm gonna apply to med school.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And then it was like awesome. Like, bro, I'm looking at what they need, and I'm looking at what I got, and
you're like, wait a minute, I'm gonna ask that.
Yeah.
You need me.
it just is.
You need me.
And then awesome, like, I could have
way above your head.
And it was like a time where I was like, I'm gonna like do something completely different.
Yep.
Not like too off course, because I'm going for like general surgery, so I was just gonna do like, well, this too hard. Let me just do EMT.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Oh, like
similar.
He let that simmer not too long. Cause
He was like, yeah, that's cute. Bye.
Right, because at first it was like, well, I'm just gonna change my whole major, and it was like, and I'm asking for permission, and he ain't saying not a word, and I'm like, that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
The silence is outrageous because I'm like, I know you.
Right, and then it got to the point to where it's like, well, I'll just take the classes over the summer and just work that while I'm still going to school for what I'm going for. and that him knowing me knowing me, it's
us knowing each other. He's like, nah.
It's really awesome. Like you're gonna get comfortable with EMT. You're gonna get comfortable, and you're gonna be like, well, I already got this, so it's okay if I let that go. And it's not. And it got to the point to where he say, no, EMT is not for you. It's like flat out, just like that. It's not for you. And I'm like,
how you know what's right for me? But it's
how
like,
you know what's
no,
right for my
I know
family?
for real, but it's like, girl, please close the book.
But it was just like you let that, like he let it simmer, but not for too long, because it's like I told you.
I don't need you riding on that delusion.
I told you
and
when
that
you was
distraction.
little.
Yeah.
I
Who you
gave
were.
it to you. Like, you
Mhm.
have the knack for it. So it's like, why are you
Trying to reject that.
And that's just like trying to find it out, like out of fear. Like,
And a lot of times we just
right now.
question our abilities. Like, I can't do this. It's not looking.
Yeah.
It's not looking like how I thought it was. Am I capable of pulling this
That's
through?
exactly what it is.
And it's like, who got you up to this point now?
Right. Me, I see myself as academically pretty average.
Yeah, I understand.
Pretty average.
Same girl.
And
I don't know how you be making these A's either. I'm like, bro, somebody is back there
behind the
lying because ain't no way. Like, no way.
It's like,
that's so real.
Everybody, like, most of the people that, when I go home, they don't see me as average. And that be like, oh, like when, like, it's just,
I know what you mean, yeah.
It's more so like, y'all looking at me and saying congrats. And I'm like, God is getting me through this. It's no way.
I can understand how that's kind of like feel like a little bit like a fraud. Or,
yeah,
like,
that's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah, it's like, I know the real.
That's exactly what it feels like. And I think that, like, that gives like a failure to fail. I'm not a failure to fail, like a fear to fail. A fear of failure. And they had that bad.
And you know, I said something to one of my homegirls yesterday, and I was like, you know, like, I'm cool with failing because in order to fail, you had to have tried.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, like, there's only two outcomes, like success or failure.
Mm-hmm.
And so realizing that, like, you're still attempting. And then also, too, like, I think that's because you are here and you see other people and their merit and all this and that.
Yeah.
And the prestige at the university, whatever. And, like, you're
what does that mean for me?
Exactly. And, like, where do I fit in this equation?
Right.
And then you're like, okay, well, compared to them, I'm at the bottom. And if that's how you feel. And you go back home and people are like, girl, I Miss Valedictorian. Yeah.
Maybe that was high school.
And you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. But that's the thing, though, too, like, you don't know who you are to these people.
Yeah.
And even, like,
that's my problem.
Being there is enough. And the fact that you're maintaining that space is enough. I didn't say excel. Yes, we're shooting for excellence, but you're doing your best. Like, and even if you're not, crank it up.
Right.
But you're doing it, and you're still showing up, and you're maintaining a standard still. People see that longevity. It's not about you doing this and doing that. For who? For what? That doesn't matter.
Right.
You know what's going on. And even, like, you can encourage somebody and then, like, boom, now they want to go to school.
And then it's like fear of performance. Like, it feels like a performance. Like,
and that's because you live, and that to me comes from people pleasing, because it's like, who you're performing for, like I mentioned. You know what I mean? Like, whose standards are you trying to meet that aren't your own? Like,
right.
You know.
That's why I don't like to talk about school when I go home, for real.
Yeah. Why they know you?
They think I'm just like, make my smartest person in the world. I said, please. Like, Mom, cut me some slack. Like, these revisions are on my back right now.
Yeah, no. Truly. Actually, mine are pretty chill, but, like, still. No, yeah.
Like, I'm not the smartest person. Look, I'm probably not even the smartest person in the house. You know what I mean? And it's like, y'all putting all this pressure.
Please.
And, like, come on.
Okay, but the pressure is from who? From where? Because to me, it feels internalized. And what I mean by internalized is that, like,
the household. No, it's the household.
So, like, are they telling you, like, you can't fail? Or,
no,
like,
it's more so, like,
you think it's implied, so you're internalizing it. That's what I'm saying. Like, where is that pressure coming from? Because you know what's real, and then you hear what they're saying, and those aren't aligning. Right. So you're creating pressure for yourself. You could defeat a situation by, like, yeah, y'all, like, he get me through it. Boom, that's it. Like, you don't, it doesn't really, like, matter. I don't want to be like, it doesn't matter.
No, I see what you're saying.
Like, it doesn't. Because, like I was saying, like, you just maintaining the space is enough. Like, that's why they said something to you. Because they see you still doing it. But that's because you feel probably
there's like a... Okay, so you know how okay, parents can give their children identities.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, that's the smart one. That's the funny one. That's the one that could cook. You know that.
And you start trying to align yourself with them.
That's what it is. It's like trying to uphold an identity that I didn't give myself.
Then let it go.
But it's like it's been there for so long.
Oh,
it almost started to feel like
feel like
is
you finding it?
I'm finding it.
Yeah. Okay, Pony.
It can start to feel like, well, if I don't, then who am I to you?
I know you're gonna take it there.
I didn't know, but I mean, until it happened. It just happened.
But that is real though.
Like if I don't hold up that identity that you built for me, who am I to you?
That's a question to ask.
Well,
because
Mom,
I can't. Because like if you feel yourself not being able to hold that up to that standard, it's not your standard. Drop it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm not trying to be that person to be like, just get over it. Because like, I don't mean to come off like that. No. Like, that's how it sounds, but that's not really like my intention.
No, I get it.
But like, I'm really big on. Like I say, I be weird overthinking it. Sometimes I'm just like, hey, just do it. And it's like that's what I kind of mean by like you just need to do it. Like even though you don't need to do it,
right?
Do what you got to do, but you know what I mean. Like
right.
Like why are you stressing yourself out, wrestling with these thoughts? Just make a decision, go. That's kind of what I'm like alluding to. And so it's like with that, these are the things you set for yourself. Like I pray now that there is a space afforded to you to be like, okay, look, I'm not feeling too good about this, like like the identity, like I'm feeling these pressure, I'm feeling these stress, and every time y'all say this, it makes me feel this way.
But see, there's been times where I'm like crying, doing homework, like struggling with homework. I mean,
yeah, I know.
And it's just, and it's on some like, you got it, you smart. I'm bawling my eyes out right now. What do you?
You gotta be smart.
What?
And then also too, you gotta give them a little grace. Like they're outsiders looking in,
and it's
then
like
also too,
nobody's ever been in this position.
What I was just about to say, what is their standard of excellence and excelling in education as well?
Dang, bro,
it's a lot.
I don't like it.
When you
never have.
When you start trying to do a little soul surgeon and
like even in high school though, changing. Like during that ranking ceremony, when they calling out the top 10%, I'm like,
you're stupid.
No,
but you were in the top 10.
Yes, but it was like the fact that I'm feeling a fear that I might not be. And what would that mean? It's not healthy.
No, I know.
It's not healthy. I mean, yeah, I did it. It got done. But the fact that there was a fear behind not.
But then it'd also be a little bit of like you were saying, like who am I to you if I'm not?
If I'm not what you think I am, or if I'm not what you say that I am.
Yeah, that's the question to ask. Because even like my dad, he was talking about like grades. He was like, "Yeah, you got a B or something like that." I was like, "Girl,
that'd be bad."
I was like, "Did you was not in the field getting to it?" And he was like, "I was like, well, that was just what I had." Right. And he was like, "Well," I was like, "No, I mean that was my 100%." Right. I was struggling. That was the class I was telling you about. You remember to pull up a B out of that? That is good. That is great.
That is exceptional.
And he was like, "All right, Maya." I was like, "Yeah, La Mama." Hey,
right?
Because you don't know. You don't know
what I went through to get that grade.
Like you don't know. Waking up off that bed, I'm like, oh gosh, I know you just don't know.
You wasn't there.
No, for real.
You don't know, baby D. That's why you looking at me like that.
Oh, you don't. You don't.
Bro, because you don't know, baby D.
But no, yeah, like I don't know. But then like now, as we are adults and we have the power to
speak up.
Yes, and then also to like decide what we want to and not to tolerate, you know, like really, really search and seek God and consult with Him and be like, hey, like I need your help with this, especially with the forgiveness and things of that nature. A lot of times, like, and I literally was on the phone with my mama today, and I told her that I said, Mama, I don't think anybody ever prepares children, or even parents for that matter. I said, but children specifically, for the shift of when you start to see your parents for who they really are rather than just mom and dad.
Right.
And I was like, because Like, and I said, that's not to say that y'all are horrible people or nothing like that. She was like, yeah. I was like, but you're flawed. And like,
right.
no, but we all
That's
are
real.
flawed.
That's real.
And like, but that's the thing. I do talk to my parents like a little scholar. It's so weird, like, bruh.
Right.
Now like I'm listening to it, I'm like, Haley, who are you? Like, girl, who are you? Even my sisters, they be like,
Intellectually speaking.
they be like, girl, you're too much. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, but no, and I was like, but like, and they're like, you're flawed,
Right.
and I was like, and you see them for, Angela Patterson, her battle, like you see them for who they are, and I was like, and realizing that you are your own individual. I said that's not discrediting you being mama or you being dad and you being all those good things that you are and were, but you come with more. And I was like, and you also come with things that I might not ever see because you don't want me to. I was like, and then there might be stuff that I accidentally see that you didn't want me to. All of these things.
I don't like seeing nothing that do.
Laura, you better say that.
It's some stuff.
It do something to you. But realizing that, and I'm like, you're just more than, for one, how you presented yourself, and then my perception of you at that time. I've got a full glimpse of who you are now. I said, for some folks, that can be really, really, really heartbreaking, especially if you're exposed at 5 or 6 or
right.
Or even those folks that get all the way grown and then they realize they parents dirty laundry and they're like, wait a minute, you were doing all these stuff
while I was for doing the same stuff.
Exactly.
You was doing worse than that.
Exactly. Or you was doing all this while I was here and this and like all that, and so it has something, it does something to you. And so like I was just thinking about that because it's like really with that forgiveness, you have to be forgiving to them and be like, Daddy, you just a little boy. Mommy, you just a little girl. Right. And it's not saying that they're not adults or this, that, and the third, but it's like you were somebody's child. You once were a child. And also too, I was like, you don't know how to raise any children. Like you're no, and that's not to be rude or anything.
No.
I'm like, you're relying on what your mama did that you like. You're taking bits and pieces of what they did that you like, other stuff that you didn't like, and you're trying to, tailor how you're gonna parent. You're looking at how your aunties and your uncles parented your cousin, and your grandma did your mom and your daddy. Like you're taking all these things and trying to morph them in parent a child, and then all of your children are different, and you're trying to raise them to be adults in the real world. Like all of these things, and it's like you don't know anything. And like I talk to my parents like this too, and like we have these type of conversations. I'm like I realized that, and I was like, and I have to see you for that. And I was like, and it doesn't discredit, like I said, all of the great things about you, but I have to understand, like, you don't know what you're doing,
and you're not just mama.
And you have an identity outside of who you are to me, and that matters. And who you were before me also affects you with me now,
right?
Like I was like, I have to notice that and realize that, like you have real passive aggressive parents. Well, how does your granny and your uncles and your how do they respond to your parents? Like, if there's an issue, do they just
And that could be like a generational
exactly
thing.
And you have to see those things. And I'm like, I'm thankful for, to God. Like I talk about that all the time, like because I didn't think like I had discernment until like I speak it and stuff like this, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, like I'm looking at stuff way differently than like and I'm like, whoa, that's interesting. And being able to like, okay, like now I feel like I understand that forgiveness a little bit more because I'm like, I've got to be gracious with you. Like, you my baby.
Right.
Mama, daddy, you my baby. Like, I gotta be gracious with you and realize that like you got your own stuff that you gotta figure out and work through. And you are more than who you are to me. And despite me being your whole life, you have your own life.
Right.
And you brought those things with you. And like just realizing that, and then like now that I'm saying like we're of age and being able to lean on our relationship with God to show us like, okay, like show me that forgiveness and how to model being forgiving like you, and and patient and long suffering and things of that nature, and like transform me. Like I don't want to be just as somebody, and I got my own stuff, you know what I mean? Like all of these things, but like it is a shift, and it's something that I feel like a lot of people experience.
But on the back end of that, it's like I grew up in a toxic household, and I see what I don't want. Instead of like, oh, I grew up like this, and I like that. So let me use
Yeah.
the back end of that is like a whole different
Seeing
thing.
everything you do not want to be like.
Right.
But then you gotta be careful with that because you don't
'Cause
want
if
to
you don't break that curse,
unintentionally be like it, trying to avoid it.
you can
you
be
know?
you'll end up like just like it. That's why.
You hate passive aggressive behavior, but you were never taught how to communicate. So all you know how to do is be passive aggressive.
Or you're just a very sarcastic person.
Which is a form of passive aggression because, bro, just say what's on your chest. I don't need them little slick comments.
Right. See
Like,
me?
girl, I be quick. I be what you gotta say.
No, I be good for it. Like, I talk my jump. Like, I talk my jump, but like in a very sarcastic way. And I straight up say, like, I'm laughing, but it ain't funny.
Yeah.
I'm so dead serious.
No, I be quick. I be like, but I don't see what's funny.
Right. I'm laughing, but nothing about this is funny. Like, if you knew how for real I would,
No,
you wouldn't be laughing.
For real.
You wouldn't be laughing.
No, for real.
But I mean business.
I'd be like,
I mean business. What?
I'm like, interesting, and not because I want to know more. Interesting because it's weird. Like,
Right,
it's
not
weird.
funny, ha-ha.
This is not a ha at all.
Not funny, haha.
No. Not even.
Nah, I be good for that. Too good for that. I actually need to cut that out. Now I'm saying it out loud.
Yeah, because I shouldn't. You shouldn't want to go 0 to more.
Now I'm saying it out loud.
I know.
Nah, bruh.
That's something to like seeing people for their spirits too, like, and then also seeing like what in me responds to them. Because like that,
Yeah.
like I shouldn't be getting turned up like that. Like I shouldn't be
Because-
having all that anger.
Right.
Like I shouldn't be,
How do you know exactly what the button to push
Yeah.
to get me to go there with you?
Yeah, that is true. That is so true. You gotta be
Like-
mindful of that.
Don't get me there. Like, cause now I'm thinking about it. Cause now I'm thinking about
You
it. It's
cracking
like
me
you
up.
know exactly what to say to get me to where I don't want to be. And when I'm there,
Deal with
it's
you.
like, what we gonna do?
Yeah.
What we gonna do?
What we gonna do? Oh, Paris.
what we gonna do? 'Cause
Paris.
it's either I'm finna
I know my
like,
sister be like, "Are we
I'm
gonna
quick,
punch?"
like, bro, I'm finna leave, bro.
My sister likes to punch.
It's I'm finna leave or what?
You're gonna get out in the field and fight. Is that what that was?
Bro,
I think that's
it's
what
either
that was.
I'm finna leave, we finna stop talking, or extreme measures.
Oh,
And-
so it's no longer verbal.
Mm.
No, okay.
It depends on. Okay,
It's no.
It's the thing.
Okay.
the button that you push means something.
Shit.
Like if I told you something in confidence
Mm.
and you spit that up in my face,
Oh. Okay, I think I
what
got you.
are we doing? Like, what we finna do? What? But I need to like. It's
She's
like
not real, guys.
it's like God is still healing me. God's still working on me.
No, he is.
I'm being saved.
But we got to
Tread
do the work
lightly.
too. Yeah, we got to do
Tread
the work
lightly.
too.
Because now I'm at the point to where it's like, well, I'm finna go. Especially as soon as I got my car, that was my main thing. I'm finna go. I'm not dealing with this.
Oh.
I'm not dealing with this. I'm finna leave.
That's just like,
Go somewhere else. That's exactly what I'm finna do.
Stay your butt at home.
And then, no. I get to the point where I'm finna go. I'm finna go because y'all really finna get me.
You working me.
Y'all finna see a place. Y'all finna get to a place that I'm telling you.
You're gonna get out in the field.
he's healing me. He's working on me.
He is. He got us.
I need to relax. First of all, I'm getting too turned. I'm getting too turned up.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm thinking,
Yeah, no. Don't let the enemy.
no.
Don't let him do that. Don't let him do that. No.
I don't like when it's like keep barking and I'm trying to set it up, but you doing it. You really are doing it. That'd be my problem.
I got you.
Yeah, it's that mouth.
When you be trying to walk away
Yeah.
and people just keep going.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, me too. Because like, girl, you had the last paragraph. Would you like forget the last word? Like you. This is one sided at this point.
And then I end up feeling convicted in the end of it because it's like, now why you get that angry?
That is the one. It's like,
And they don't feel bad because they don't care. Like,
And that's the thing too. I didn't realize I'm like, you are
it's different
dealing with
consequences.
people who do not, you know.
It's different consequences.
But it's not like, oh, I'm better. But it's like they not operating the same way you are.
Right.
You know? Don't fret, don't sweat. That is my motto.
Haley, we need to keep you around, bro. Cause
who?
We need to keep you around.
Oh,
hey. You need to be around because
man,
in situations.
Like Paris.
For real, cause it get like that.
You gonna go fight in the patch of grass?
I'm not trying to go. It's a thing. Yeah, I end up feeling bad, and it's like, why did I let you do that to me? And it's like, it's done now.
But I don't know. I mean, like,
you need to cut that out for real. For real.
For real.
It's serious.
I think for me it was like just asking, like I was saying, like asking God, like, what do I look like right before like I fall?
Oh, snap.
Because like you could be just so in it, and sometimes like I still just be in it that I'm like, you miss it, you know, because you want to, or you know, like you said, you just deep up in it, and so it's kind of like, yeah, like you know, before I get, because then you, like you said, you're sitting there and you're reflecting, you're like, dang, like, and it's like, yeah, you shouldn't have, but it's over with now. Right. You know what I mean? So now, like, what to do differently, what to do better.
And it hit different when he tell you to apologize.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. Embarrassing.
I do not like that one.
No.
I do not.
Headlock.
It gets
you
physical.
Didn't like that one, did you?
It gets physical is what I'm hearing.
It's like,
it gets physical is what I'm hearing.
We need to keep it verbal.
No,
don't even make it verbal. Don't even start the
the
verbal, because that's what really get it to the physical.
That is true, because
and I'm not even talking about just like, I'm talking about every aspect.
Yeah, no, I know. That you
gotta really be careful,
because if the talk is
talking, and it's talking good, right?
That meme of that one man is like the cigarette smoke, and he's like this. Like, it's just like, oh man,
bro.
But yeah, I don't know. That's real.
It's difficult.
I got us though.
There was a season. I feel like I'm past
fighting in the grass.
I feel like I'm past it now.
Right.
Working on it.
It's all right. No, we'll put it. What you be saying? A pin in it.
A pin in it.
Yes.
Right.
We should get like a NBC News, like.
You know, girl, they gonna copyright us.
No, but not that one.
I'm gonna say, like, they gonna get us.
How they have the. I have like little news banners like pop up, like that would be like, oh, that's actually like a lot.
No, I think it's pretty easy.
It's just like, I gotta get some coin in like a place, so we can, like,
right?
Have like a green screen and have like the back and be like, so guys, right? That would actually be like so cute. But no, yeah. I don't know, just keep getting to know him.
Right.
Like, keep
and it's the only way. It's the only way that you're gonna get over some of this stuff. A lot of this stuff. All of this stuff.
I'm gonna say all of it. Like, seeking, he got you. Because he got me. He got we. Like, he got us. And, yeah. I don't know.
Right. I think we.
I thought too, because I mean, like, I thought we were going.
Yeah, we have.
And then, like, we tied in with relationships as well. Right. Because, like, religion will do that to you.
It will.
It will.
Oh, it will.
With the making you feel guilty, because like, now you're holding your convictions in them sound like condemnation, because it's like, you know, the law. It's like, I don't live by, you know, that law. I operate underneath a different law, you know.
Right.
But yeah,
moral of the story.
Yeah. You gotta
build relationship. Don't be out here letting people get you to places.
In
every aspect.
No, yeah.
Not just, you know, physical.
It transcends everywhere. Your mental too. Like, don't preserve your mind. Protect yourself.
Right.
God got you. He really does.
He got us. Been cool.
Yes. Oh,
What is it?
this is.
Oh yeah. No, y'all, we forgot. I forgot.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it because I was like, wait, it's May 1st.
It is.
Because I remember I said that to you earlier.
Yes.
Guys, so we have
Disclaimer.
finals and everything, so the semester is coming to a conclusion.
Right. Which I'm kind of ready. I'm ready to just go home for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna be for some jobs.
Yeah. Full time.
Real bad. So yes, so this actually is the last video until
We'll see. I think the fall.
yeah,
Let's say the fall.
fall semester.
So let's
Lord,
just to be safe, like let's say mid-August, closer to the end.
Yeah. Well, I would actually say September.
September, okay.
Because we don't start school until the 25th.
Yeah.
We like the end of August.
Mm.
And then like most people
So like
might not be here. So I would think like September. Like,
okay,
maybe like
the start of
second,
September.
yeah, like the first or second week of September. We'll have some details over some and figure out what we can do. And then also we don't know. I don't know when they start opening up all this stuff.
No, this be open during summertime too.
Oh, shut up, her.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Cause I got some more classes.
Oh, you do?
No, I'm not taking my summer classes here.
Oh, you can afford that?
Absolutely
big money. Big
not here.
money.
I'm talking about at a community college. I would be taking summer classes, transferring some credits.
Yes.
So I'm trying to get up out of here.
Trying to get up
out of here.
Tell me
As fast as possible.
Tell me how you really feel about me.
No, it's not personal.
Oh,
but
I'm making it
But you
personal.
can definitely come to the graduation. You will get invited.
Shut up. That is really so cool.
No, because I was thinking about. Oh my gosh, we got wrapped up. But I was real quick. I was thinking about I really graduate next year.
So
2026
in December. No, in.
Okay, I'm taking the summer classes, and I also will take winter classes.
Okay, great. Because I'm about to say I have like a wedding I have to go to in December.
Right.
I know, and I was like, I know, and I was like, oh, I'm worried. Oh, but like it's a little bit later.
Either in spring or December, so we'll see.
Oh no, like my wedding is this year, December 2025.
Oh, girl, I'm talking about 2026. I'm talking about 2026.
Paris, I was worried. I got a clarifying question.
There.
Oh no, yes, I'll be in it.
I was realizing, like, girl, you need to.
I know.
Graduating college.
What schools are you ready to go to?
Oh my gosh. Wherever the Lord send me.
Amen.
To be honest, I ain't want to come here. No shade. It's no shade. I'm only here because he told me to be.
Young.
Truthfully, I wanted to go to.
Imagine.
BU. Baylor. Yes. Wanted to be in it.
That stadium off the side of the highway. Well, as far as what you wanted to do.
First.
Yeah.
And he said absolutely.
And that's no shade to OU because OU's medical program was great too. But Baylor, we call them Baylor Scott and Whites. And
I wasn't even
like
thinking about this school.
Okay.
No.
Here she goes.
No, I wasn't even thinking about this school.
Here she goes.
It was a dream. And he said, yeah. It was like I saw the acceptance letter and I just applied and
amen. Look at you.
So this is not where I want to be. I'm here on faith.
Right. Being obedient.
In relationship.
Listening to the Lord.
Because, child.
You have great plans for us.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really want to get too set on a med school.
Yeah.
Because I was set on Baylor.
And then he was like, no.
And like he made
caller.
sure. No, he made sure because I got accepted to every school.
But that one.
Oh, he was like him talking. He was like, "You're not going there, honey. I don't know what you."
If that's not him talking, I don't know what is.
Dang. It's like that.
No,
I'm not even gonna let you get the chance.
Is that personal? Really? Yeah, no.
And I can hear him like, Haley.
Oh, shut up. That is so funny. I know.
No, I'm trying to get up out of here. Truthfully.
Okay.
I was trying to leave my freshman year, to be honest. He said, no, he closed that door. I said close them doors.
Ushers, close the doors.
Close them doors.
That made me holler. I was like, no, you know you ain't no I
That's
said no,
crazy.
and then it was like all the other like pastors and stuff like remaking it, and that was what also made me laugh too. 'Cause I'm
Like, y'all play around.
yeah, no for real.
Y'all play around.
But yeah, guys, put a little cute little bow on it.
Right.
Me and Paris will be talking over the summer, see what the vibes are. But look
For
for
sure.
something around like early to mid September.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah. Exactly, this is my schedule for the fall.
Yeah.
I see none of it summer because I mean I know some of them aren't finalized yet.
Some months not finalized here.
Yeah, I'm
either,
waiting on only one class.
because it really just depends on the credits that I transfer. That's y'all. We had a grand time.
Yes, love you.
Wish y'all too.
Yes, Lord's willing,
Closer
fall
to the-
25.
Right, close to the end of this year.
Fall 25.
Dang. Alright, y'all.